green morning, green afternoon, green evening, wherever you are world over in different countries, different continents, different time zones. First of all, we would like to wish that please take care of your health, take care of your wellness, stay fit, stay fine. You should be physically strong, you should be mentally strong, you should be spiritually strong. Take care of your immunity booster. Try and take a simple food, live nicely, think positive, talk positive, walk positive, live positive. Because at present, the crises are right on the doorstep world over. I was just talking a little while before people in London, I was talking in Canada, I was talking at a couple of other places, and there are deep, deep, great concerns. I think the corona, maybe we took it lightly or we just thought it has gone, but it was waiting for us to be little lethargic or little loose, and that's why the things are getting out of shape and out of hand. So thereby, please let's not add more to the present crisis, and we should try and save as much as we can, save the humanity the best possible way while taking care of each other on this planet. So, ladies and gentlemen, hearty welcome to 840th webinar today on Saturday evening at 8 p.m. And we extend a very warm welcome to our head of the finances, insurance sector services of the International Chamber for Service Industry. We extend a very warm welcome to Rajiv Raizada ji. Like every week, every Saturday, he is kind enough to spare his time, and I'm so glad that number of audience from world over have already joined the program, and I'm grateful to all of them. I'm grateful to all of them that they are joining us and they want to share their vision with all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, making education relevant, your health, your wellness, your education, and your life going on is very, very important, the best possible way, for which there is a minimum finances we all require to survive. And that is the way we have to slowly and gradually make the world move on and grow. Banking, finance, and insurance sector. Saturday, 17th of April 2021, Mr. Rajiv Raizada ji with us on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry. We extend a very warm welcome to all our brothers and sisters across the world. We are one family. Your difficulties are our difficulties. Your pain is our pain. And that's the way we have to think of. And it's the global education, collaboration, global human being that is a Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. New education policy given last year on 29th of July. And this particular policy, which is in the different phases of implementation, it's going to be a game changer for all of us. Honorable Prime Minister is very keen to make India Atmanirbhar Bharat and self-reliant Bharat, for which the finance minister is also working very hard. And education is the key sector which is going to bring change, education and skills. So, ladies and gentlemen, education, skills, entrepreneurship, MSME sector, Shiksha, Kaushalta, or Udmita. That is what is the holistic. So, our chamber is totally completely dedicated our teachers and youth and education ecosystem empowerment, Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are proud to share with all of you that way back in 1994, we brought India's first finishing school for services sector, where basically the soft skills and the life skills being taken care of. And now at present, we are proud of that the NSDC with its sector skill councils, they're doing a great job. There are numerous sector skill council. You talk about any subject, you talk about any segment of the economy, whether agriculture or manufacturing or services, and banking, financial services, and insurance sector. When you talk about sector skill council, if you recall, we mentioned last week also that the banking, financial services, and insurance sector skill council is offering a very special program of 16 hours 8 days instructed led online webinar, and it is on basics of banking and insurance. Those of us those are interested, please remember Government of India give lots of money under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana and couple of other programs in the sector skill councils. So why not to take on something which can be? And we are proud of Dr. Nirmaljit Singh Kalsi ji. Yesterday he has taken over the charge in Delhi in the evening hours, that is as a chairperson of the National Council for Vocational Education and Training. And ladies and gentlemen, NSDC, sector skill councils, skill universities, ITIs, and all other ecosystem of skills, they are right under one platform now, National Council for Vocational Education and Training. And we are proud that Dr. Nirmaljit Singh Kalsiji is leading as a chairperson this particular new venture, new segment, new initiative of the government, and being supported by Madam Vinita Agrawal and Dr. Neena Pahuja as the member of NCVT, and there are many other who would be joining. So our heartiest congratulations to the team and their future ventures. Our chamber, in a humble way, if you recollect, Niti Aayog is having incubation and they are doing a lot of innovation, creativity, schools, colleges, universities. In schools, they are coming out with the Atal Tinkering Lab. Our chamber, in humble way, is setting up the finishing labs in all schools, colleges, institutions, wherever it's required for soft skills and life skills across India. The core focus, what we have got is all 12 hours since morning. Can you believe it? We started this morning at 9 o'clock and we'll be finishing at 9 o'clock. There are 28 programs, what we have got. Sunday, people say Sunday is more busy than other days. This was yesterday's program. What a beautiful audience and participation from the world over. Humor in education, why education is not made with happiness, and why people don't smile, laugh, enjoy, no tension. This we have done yesterday on Friday. And this program series, what we are doing, vocational teachers training program, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this was last Friday, and coming Monday is also going to be interesting. I'll share with you. That is going to be music in education. Now tomorrow morning 9:30 a.m. you'll have a special program, that is Vidya se Adhyatam Vidya ki Aur. That is tomorrow morning from United States. That is from the Burbank Woodbury University, Professor Satinder Dhiman. Tomorrow at 11:30, you will have Dil Diyan Gallan. That is Punjab, because after Canada, the next passion of the people, the children, and everybody is, how can I be a part of radio, television, theater, music, films, whatever you can think of. So Manmohan Singh ji will be joining us from Mumbai, writer, producer, director, who had been deeply associated earlier with Yash Chopra ji, and he has given a new dimension to Punjabi cinema. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, you will have another program that is on northeast part of India with ASEAN. And then, of course, this is 8 p.m. In between, you will have a program on MSME also at 5 p.m. tomorrow. And this is a 8 p.m. program tomorrow, non-resident Indians, Indian diaspora, Dr. Jagannathan and Professor Vivesh Shankar Natarajan. They'll be joining us from Texas, from the Houston. They will come for the deliberation, research in energy industry. This is music in education. That's on Monday evening at 8 p.m. How music can bring dopamine when you talk about how can you enjoy your study, music for mathematics, music for physics, music for chemistry, music for biology, music for geography, music for history, you name a subject. And anybody who says that, well, digital way we can't teach, and digital way is creating a lot of difficulties and all that, come on, we have to overcome that and we have to work in that particular direction. You cannot get back to January and February of the last week. ये सोचिए, जो लोग शहरों में हैं, जिनके पास सुविधाएं हैं, गांव के बच्चों के बारे में सोचिए, जो इंटीरियर्स में हैं उन बच्चों के बारे में सोचिए, जिनको वो बेसिक एजुकेशन कॉन्वेंट वाली नहीं मिल पाती उनके बारे में सोचिए. So thereby digital education and education is the only solution where the whole country can be brought on a common platform, and that's what we have to talk about. So ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's come together. You remember that I am recapitulating. We have discussed कि बेसिक फाइनेंस क्यों नहीं पढ़ाई जाती स्कूल्स में, कॉलेजेस में, यूनिवर्सिटीज में, इंस्टीट्यूशन में, क्यों नहीं हम कवर करते। और उसी के साथ साथ मनी की स्किल्स चाहिए, बेसिक स्किल्स चाहिए, हमें अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाना पड़ेगा। और ये आपको याद होगा, मैंने आपसे बातचीत की थी, रिच डैड एंड पुअर डैड, इस किताब को जरूर पढ़िएगा। व्हाट आर द सक्सेसफुल टिप्स, बेसिक टिप्स। रॉबर्ट टी कियोसाकी ने, इनके फादर टीचर थे और इन्होंने बहुत सारी बातचीत की है। इनकी किताब वर्थ पढ़ने वाली है, ऑडियो बुक है। सुबह वॉक करते हुए अपने कमरे के अंदर कहीं भी बैठे, उठते, लेटते, खाते पीते इसको सुनिए तो आपको समझ आएगी टेक्नोलॉजी कहां आ रही है, फाइनेंस मैनेजमेंट फ्यूचर में कैसे होगा, टेक्नोलॉजी किस तरीके से सब चीजों को आगे लेकर चलेगी। आपको मैनुअल कुछ नहीं करना होगा। फिनटेक स्टार्टअप हैव इंपैक्टेड बैंकिंग, फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज एंड इंश्योरेंस, इसके बारे में भी आपको याद होगा हमने बातचीत की थी। फिर हमने कुछ मोबाइल ऐप्स के बारे में आपसे बातचीत की थी। फिर हमने इसके स्टेटेड कुछ स्टार्टअप्स की बातचीत की थी। हर सप्ताह हम ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं। फिर हमने इंक्यूबेशन, फिनक्यूबेटर्स की बातचीत की थी। और आज हम we are inviting our distinguished guest, who is our advisor to the ICSI on banking, finance, and insurance sector, Rajiv Razada ji, to share his vision. Initially, we will have few words from his side, and thereafter we will share rest of the presentation with all of you. With these words, we extend a very warm welcome, hearty welcome to all of you. Rajiv
Thank you.
Razada ji is also here. A pleasure to have you with us. इट्स अ ग्रेट प्लेजर। जब आप मुझे कहेंगे आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन सामने आ जाएगी, तब तक आप कुछ बातचीत करना चाहें, ऑडियंस को कुछ कहना चाहें। जो बच्चे जुड़ रहे हैं, टीचर जुड़ रहे हैं, प्रिंसिपल जुड़ रहे हैं और बहुत सारे काउंसलर्स जुड़ रहे हैं, इन बच्चों को आगे मार्गदर्शन चाहिए, इन सब लोगों को आगे हैंड होल्डिंग चाहिए विद रिगार्ड टू बेसिक्स ऑफ फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज। राजीव रायजादा जी।
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity. The way you have started today's program, I really feel that these are the points which cannot be overstressed at all. We are in a very, very difficult situation. The situation is fast becoming worse from there. And every day, the news we are getting at all the places, things are really becoming very, very alarming. And we are far from that situation of comfort we have only a couple of months ago. Couple of months ago, we were looking at things as if the corona is going, corona is about to go, and we will very soon bounce back to the normal life. But I think that somewhere we were very, very careless. We did not take enough precautions. We became too easy on the situation, and resultantly, we are just in the midst of this second wave, which was being feared. And as has been the cases of all second waves, the second wave is going to be much more worse than the first wave. This was the fear which was expressed by everybody from the day one. But perhaps we did not take a lesson, and somewhere our lackadaisical approach and our approach of taking things too easy and too carelessly, we have landed ourselves in this situation. But again, I would say the saving thing is that there are a number of positive things which are also happening simultaneously, like vaccination program is going on, and what we see here and what we learn from various platforms, a lot of other initiatives, other remedies are also around the corner, which would enable us to turn the tables. But again, it will depend on what kind of caution we can take, what kind of precautions we can take. And especially the situation is much more grave than the last year, because perhaps now we are not in a situation to afford any lockdown. Economically, perhaps if we have to do that, the chances of a severe stress on the economy will be many fold than it was last year. Also, the resources of the government are also dwindling, and our own personal resources, because lot of us had to bear with the fact that their savings and other they had kept aside for a hard day, for a difficult day. So we are almost at the end of that also. There may be many people. Financially, it will become extremely difficult for them to sustain. And I think that at this moment, everybody needs to put their heads together, put their hands together by keeping a distance, of course, and taking care of all the precautions are given. And we don't have any option, and especially more so last year, what we were seeing that people who were of robust health, who were younger, and who were people were considered that their ability to combat the disease was higher, they were safer. Only the people who were more vulnerable, who were aged, who were feeble, and they had some issues, they were more at stake, more at risk. But now we are seeing that lot and lots of people who are younger, who are in a much better health, they are also succumbing to this disease. So everybody has to take care, everybody has to uh, be very cautious. So I feel I second whatever you said. Everybody has to remain very cautious, and everybody has to remain very alert, and we have to ensure that this disease is contained as fast, as soon, and as permanently as possible. So
With
with
these
that,
words,
yeah,
thank you, Rajiv ji.
yes, doctor.
And with these words, let's move ahead. And I think I'm back in the screen with you. I hope you can see it. And
Yes,
from here, we will take on the journey.
yes,
And
sir.
today, Rajiv ji, we would request you to talk about the Union Budget
Yes,
2021, and at the same time giving caution to everybody to save every rupee. Let's work on to, and I roll it for you, sir. Please go
yes,
ahead.
sir. Thank you. Doctor, as was shared by the Prime Minister also, and also very broad, very exhaustively by the Finance Minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, that the overriding the character of that budget was that it was an expenditure budget. The budget, the depending on the situation, specific situation. So this budget was focused on expenditure. There was, there was an increase proposed in the capital expenditure. Everything was focused on the fact that there was a situation which we had to combat and we had to come out of this. So this was not a normal situation. This was not a normal budget. So the focus was entirely different. So again, as we can see, some of the salient features have been shared here. Uh, this is introduced investor charter as a right for all financial investors across all financial products. In the banks, in the public sector banks, and especially scheduled banks, we had a citizens charter. The charter was a commitment to the customers. So there were certain things, there were some parameters which had to be complied with when you were dealing with the customers. It is not a free for all market, because it is believed that a financial services providing company, it may be a bank, it may be an NBFC, it may be any other financial services provider, it is always felt that they are at an advantage as compared to the customer. Customer is a single and weaker party, whereas a company which is providing the financial services has always an edge. So there has to be a charter where you have to ensure that you stick to certain standards, and there you have a particular code of conduct which is so that the customers, the rights of the customers and the rights of the persons who are coming to you for the financial services, those rights are protected. And whenever these rights are broken, there is always a mechanism available to them that they can reach out to this mechanism for getting their uh, violations corrected, or their rights reinforced. Secondly, the investor charter has to be introduced as a right for all financial investors who shall be investing in all the financial products. So this charter will be maintained and it will be on. Then an asset reconstruction company limited and asset management company to be set up, consolidate and take over the existing stressed debt. In the previous seminars also, we talked about a bad bank. So almost for last 6 years, we have been hearing the talk about the bad bank. So far nothing concrete had been done. This has finally been announced. During this year, they are going to set up a asset reconstruction company, a bank or a financial institution with where the government is going to make capital outlay of 20,000 crores, and it will be targeted that this institution will be taking over the bad assets, the NPA accounts, where the chances of rehabilitation or the otherwise resolution is not possible. So all these assets will be siphoned off and given to this company, this ARC. This ARC with a capital of 20,000 crores is targeted to achieve a portfolio of 5 lakh crores in the first 3 years. So that means that kind of assets will be transferred and the banks will be free to do their business after these assets are transferred to this ARC. So it will be a bad bank, but they will be specializing in resolution of these assets, the recovery of these assets, and how these, wherever possible, how these assets can be realized and put to good use. Then the next is to consolidate the financial capacity of public sector banks. Further recapitalization of INR 20,000 crores has been proposed. So as we know that public sector banks are under tremendous pressure because of the NPAs, though the NPAs have come down marginally during the last half year of 2021. But again, to keep them at par and to enable them to have a proper balance sheet, the recapitalization of nearly 20,000 crores has been proposed during the year 21-22. Then for non-banking financial company with minimum asset value of rupees 100 crore, the minimum loan size eligible for debt recovery to be reduced from the existing level of INR 50 lakhs to INR 20 lakhs. In NBFCs, for enabling them to go in for SARFAESI and going in for other recovery mechanism uh, with of such NBFCs, where minimum asset value is at least 100 crores, they had to have the loan size of minimum 50 lakhs before they could trigger these recovery mechanisms. Now this threshold has been reduced to 20 lakhs. So that would enable them to realize their assets 20 lakh upwards instead of just going in for assets worth 50 lakhs. In addition to IDBI Bank, privatization of 2 public sectors and 1 general insurance company to be done in the year 21-22. Where we have also seen that during this year, there has been a focus on disinvestment. So it is being proposed that the assets need to be disinvested. One of the paradigm shifts that we have seen is that it is being said time and again that it is no business of the government to remain in business. So the government should not be entering the business, rather the government should be concerned about the governance, which is most important. Only such areas which are of very crucial importance and where it is required that the government must be having some control and should which are of very crucial for the country, except that there is a thinking that slowly and gradually all these assets should be disinvested and private players should come and there should be a level playing field of open competition which generates economy, which generates economic competition, and you are able to just trigger value from the basis of the sheer value of that concern. It was proposed that 2 PSUs and 1 state-owned insurance company, one amongst the 4, these are likely to be disinvested. There's a target has been proposed that during this year, 21-22, the target of 1.75 lakh crores has been fixed, that this should be realized by this investment. Also, there's another, yeah, the next is that IPO of LIC to be done in the year in 21. To this goal also, LIC, which is 100% owned by Government of India, is one of the largest institutions having very strong portfolios in so many other companies also, having a very big investment portfolio also. So the IPO, through an IPO, then investment will be raised during this year. This is other than already we know that on board are LI or Air India and some other institutions are already on the board with the clear paradigm that ultimately the government should move out of the businesses and businesses should be run as businesses, having a level playing field uh, for all the businesses. Then next is to ensure the faster resolution of cases, National Company Law Tribunal framework to be strengthened, e-courts system to be implemented, and alternate methods of debt resolution and special framework for MSMEs to be introduced. Now, this is a very important thing. As I have already in the previous seminars, I have spoken about the IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Under IBC, the companies which are becoming insolvent, they can be moved against in NCLT under National Company Law, which is the adjudicating authority for the corporate sector. Corporate sector means for the companies and LLPs. During this year, we have also seen that recently we must have seen that there's a, as which we talked about in the last week also, the pre-packaged insolvency resolution process has been notified by the government, which is available only for the MSMEs. So these are special features which have been added. And then NCLTs, because this is a new institution, they need to be strengthened, their infrastructure needs to be improved. E-court system has to be implemented. So far, in the present context, the physical hearings of the cases are not going on, and it is not possible. And we don't see there's any likelihood that the same can be done in the near future also. So all these NCLTs have been hearing their matters through online hearing only, and the system is working very fine. Already I've been participating in these hearings, and the things are, in fact, in many ways we feel that this system works much more efficiently than the physical hearings. So this could be, in fact, this could be the future of courts, not only in India, but everywhere around the world. So this and the special framework, as I said, in the MSMEs, that pre-packaged corporate insolvency resolution process has been brought. And so many other facilities have been created so that MSMEs, those who are seeking for an exit, they are able to do that and they can move. The next is a revised mechanism to be introduced to ensure timely completion of the closure of sick or loss-making central public sector enterprises, as it is just in line with the thinking of the government. So especially the the CPSEs, which are making losses and which are not, which in fact are a burden on the system. In fact, taxpayers' money has to be pumped in just for paying salaries and just for infrastructure and basic costs to these central public sector enterprises. They are not adding value; rather, they are a drain on the system. So they are a revised mechanism is being introduced so that these units can either be they can be closed or they can be siphoned off. So this is also one of the important salient feature. A special purpose vehicle in the form of a company to set up for monetizing of the surplus land with the government departments ministries and public sector enterprises. This again, I feel that this is a very important move, because in fact, in the public sector, in the PSUs, or such departments, such companies, ministries who are having lots of such assets which are not put to any use. I can tell that from my own experience from of PNB. We were able to locate so many properties which were not being utilized by the bank, but which were just somebody else was using it. All such assets, they need to be taken care of, and then you they need to be put to a proper use, monetizing these projects. So wherever such assets are not required, I feel that this is a gold mine. Many of the institutions, many of the departments, many of the ministries, many of the public sector enterprises are having huge assets which can be easily monetized for a very good value, which will realize all those assets, and they will further, instead of these assets being put to use by somebody else, some unscrupulous peoples, or lying waste, they can be put to use and they can be monetized to add value. So for this a special purpose vehicle, an SPV, will be created, which will take care of all such assets, and it will be a huge step. Then tax neutral conversion of primary cooperative bank into banking. This we have seen that primary cooperative banks, somewhere they were created during an era when they were extremely useful in small areas. But again, it is now the time that we need to move them, convert them into the banking companies. So a tax neutral conversion where it will not be any burden on them, nor it will create any value for them. So as such, they will be converted into the banking company. So they can be run as a banking company and can add. Next is, it is proposed to provide relaxation for filing income tax return to senior citizens who are of the age of 75. As we discussed in the last seminar also, the senior citizens who have only pension and interest income as their source of income, and they are above 75 years, they need not file their income tax return. The purpose is that they should be given some comfort that we have also seen that there lots of changes have been brought about in the income tax system, where we have now the system of faceless uh, submission of the uh, income tax returns. Then there uh, even appeals and all are being done in a very faceless manner. So you don't come in direct contact with any ITO or any officials of income tax department. As a result, the chances of so-called the corruption and other things, and there used to be demands. So all this has been eliminated. For individuals, this is also a step in that direction. So any senior citizen 75 years and above having only pension and the interest income as their source of income, they need not file their income tax return. Then TDS and TCS at higher rate applicable for non-filers of return of income tax. So section 206 AB and 206 CC. So a person, this is for people who are non-compliant. So means those who are not filing the return of income tax. So many such things have been introduced in this project, just to ensure that the level of compliance should go up, and everybody should strictly fall into the system, and everybody should file the return. Then tax deduction at source, last tax deduction at source at 0.1% is proposed on purchase of goods from resident of India. So TDS, and there is also a tax. Uh, so where a somebody is purchasing something something is being purchased from an Indian, from a resident Indian. So the a tax, and if the value of that transaction is more than 50 lakhs, a tax deduction of 0.1% is to be deducted. So the purpose is that all those sellers who may not be filing their return, who may be going into the transactions, but may not fall in the income tax net and may not be filing their returns, they have to brought in into this the fold of the income tax. One important feature to say is that the number of income tax payers, which in the year 2014 were 3.31 crores. Now they have gone up and now they are 6.48 crores in 2020. You see, there is a more than it has almost doubled. So 6.48. The purpose is to bring all those people who are having a sufficient income but are not filing the return. They should be brought to the income tax. Then equalization levy, which is applicable to non-resident e-commerce operator or supplier or provider of services goods, shall not to apply for such payment that would be taxable as royalty or fees for technical services. So equalization fees, which has to be charged in all cases, but it shall not apply where the payment is only which is otherwise taxable. Here also in the tax deduction at source of 0.1 is proposed on the purchase of goods from resident of India. Similarly, the tax collection at source, where TDS is not applicable, tax collection at source of 0.1% is to be deducted, but where TDS is being deducted, there it is not to be deducted. Similarly, the equalization fees is not to be charged where the such services are already taxable as royalty or fees on account of technical services. So there should not be double levy of taxes. Then this is also an important feature. Investment made in unit-linked insurance plan would now be taxable on maturity where the annual premium or aggregate of all premiums paid by a person in respect of ULIP policies exceeds 2,50,000 in a fiscal year. So this is applicable for the policies purchased on 1st of February 21 onwards. This is not applicable on the policies purchased. That means if the annual premium is less than 2,50,000 only, then it will be exempted. Otherwise, if it is beyond 2,50,000 per year, it will not be exempted. So that is in a way that is a ceiling that has been kept for investment made in unit-linked.
So that's something is wonderful which you have given to us today. एंड खासकर मैं एक चीज सोचता हूँ जी कि ये जो फाइनेंस है, बेसिक फाइनेंस है, ये हमारे स्कूलों में क्यों नहीं इंट्रोड्यूस होता, ये हमारे कॉलेजेस में क्यों नहीं कवर होता, व्हाई इट इज नॉट ए पार्ट ऑफ द करिकुलम, व्हाई डू वी वांट टू कीप पीपल डिप्राइव्ड ऑफ, व्हाई नॉट एवरीबडी शुड हैव जो आप बाकी कंटेंट्स पढ़ा रहे हैं, सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ा रहे हैं, एजुकेशन दे रहे हैं, एकेडमिक्स का ये हिस्सा नहीं होना चाहिए?
Sir, somewhere, if I share with you my thinking, I believe that we are teaching too much of inert facts. The facts which have no value, which अकबर के नाने का नाम क्या है या बाबर का क्या है, ये this will not add any value to me. But all these things, this should be part of the civics, and I feel that even a science student must be aware about these things because these are the skills which enable you to live properly. तो आप लाइफ को प्लान ही नहीं कर सकते until you understand some finance. Similarly, some science is also which is very very basic, which should be known to everybody. Sir, we somehow our education system does not encourage the students to read beyond their course content. एक तो सर मैं I feel कि I strongly feel that we, the people of my age, somewhere we failed in our responsibility. We could not encourage, we could not inculcate the habit of reading in the next generation. हम जनरल रीडिंग की हैबिट नहीं दे पाए. बहुत बार क्या ऐसे भी बच्चे आपको मिलते हैं जब आप उनसे डिस्कस करते हैं, you talk to them and they can tell you so many things about the areas which you know. But there are things which even the basic. I remember when I was a student of medical. I was studying in pre-medical class. My teacher asked, tell one feature about China. I said, sir, it's a communist country. So unfortunately, when he started questioning, 90% student of the class did not know what is communism. That was way back. Now I feel that the level of students has gone up substantially, but still, वो जो एक urge to know more things, हालांकि in fact जो Google बाबा आज available है, the information which is available to the student today, to the youngsters today at the click of a mouse, that was never available then. Even we had a very limited source of information. So whatever our parents used to tell us, this was gospel truth. But now that information is there. But that habit of reading beyond the course content, trying to know the things, that somehow needs to be encouraged. And
absolutely. In fact, there are so many areas which should be a part of our education. अब देखिए, एक सेशन आज हमारा शाम को 5 बजे था वाटर मैनेजमेंट पर. Why don't we teach in our school, colleges, universities, institution, पानी की हर बूंद को कैसे बचाना है? कहीं पानी वेस्ट हो रहा है और कहीं हम पानी बर्बाद कर रहे हैं और कहीं किसी के पास पानी पीने के लिए नहीं है और वो बोतलों में बिक रहा है. नंबर 2, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट की हम बातचीत करते हैं. नाउ अगर देखा जाए तो ये जो कोरोना है, ये पेंडेमिक है, ये सब चीजें हैं. व्हाई नॉट चिल्ड्रन should learn in their school, colleges, universities, disaster management also. And similar way, finance management, basic finance management तो इंटीग्रल पार्ट होना चाहिए हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम का. अभी देखिए, आई वुड विद योर परमिशन टेक ऑन सम ऑफ द कमेंट्स व्हिच पीपल हैव रिटन ओवर हियर because these people have to be recognized. Saurabh, he enjoyed Aarti, Mamta, Vimal, Sakshi, Shipu Daman, and then Pradeep Bisht, and then Ria Rana, and then Mamta Chauhan, Saurabh, then Arumugam ji from Tamil Nadu, and then Pradeep Bisht ji. That there are so many views they have written. I would say it's a Sakshi, and then Vimal Chauhan, and then Shivani. And Shivani has posted Uma Devi ji. Wow, that's great. All these people have written so many comments and so much they have given over here. The wonderful views which they all have shared. I mean, there's so much to pick up from the audience itself. ये लोग इतने पार्टिसिपेटिव हैं. अगर आप YouTube के GS मोटिवेटर के चैनल पे जाएंगे तो आप हैरान हो जाएंगे. The amount of posts they have done during your session. And I personally feel that these children, these teachers, these principals, these headmasters, these directors, and जितने भी लोग education के ecosystem में जुड़े हुए हैं, because we are talking about making education and skills relevant. तो they are so enriched. जब आप ये सारी चीजें बताते हैं, नहीं तो इनको एक जगह किसी एक जगह पर मिल ही नहीं सकती है. और ड्यूरिंग दिस वीक फाइनेंस में क्या हुआ, इंश्योरेंस में क्या हुआ, तो जैसे आप चर्चा कर रहे थे, नेक्स्ट वीक इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर का भी कोरोना के टाइम में बच्चों को पता होना चाहिए कि क्या क्या कवरेज हैं, कैसे हैं, किस तरीके से हैं, इन सब चीजों का क्या हो सकता है. एंड एट द सेम टाइम जो हमारी बैंकिंग और फाइनेंशियल और इंश्योरेंस की सेक्टर स्किल काउंसिल है, उनके भी क्या क्या प्रोग्राम्स अवेलेबल है, क्या नए एप्स आ रहे हैं, क्या प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, क्या एड टॉक हो रही हैं, वो भी सब जैसा आपने सुझाव दिया था मुझे शुरू में, when we both were talking before coming in this session, उनको हम अगले हफ्ते जरूर इंक्लूड करेंगे, राजीव रायजादा जी.
ठीक है.
And final word from your side, in case if you would like to say something before we conclude the session.
Sir, in next session, if you feel it's okay, we will also start talking about some of the things which are deliberately जिनकी wrong selling होती है. For
Hmm.
example, one thing is that the write-offs. We say we hear so much about it, and everybody is trying to misguide the people by saying कि तुम्हें ये write-off हो गया, वो write-off. So I would just like, I'll briefly for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I would like to talk about that and tell them that in fact that what is that write-off that everybody is trying to play one against the other. So just उसके बारे में. So मैं taking into account the situation, uh, I would like to close my whatever I have to say by again because I have talked mainly about the budget only this time. So I'll borrow a quote which our finance minister has quoted, Rabindranath Tagore. So she quoted, "Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark." So that means now the situation, we need not get desperate about the situation. Maybe we just have something that dawn is about to come. So we must have to keep our strength, our morale, and our hopes alive. And we all need to put our best efforts just to sustain this.
Wonderful. Sonu ji is writing, since everyone is not covered into the health policy, we need to understand the benefits of the health insurance in the current pandemic in the next session. तो ये भी मैंने नोट कर लिया जी. हम हेल्थ कवर का, इंश्योरेंस का क्या क्या कवरेज है, कैसे है, और गवर्नमेंट की क्या क्या पॉलिसीज हैं, और लोगों को क्या हिदायत बरतनी चाहिए, कैसे हैं, तो प्रैक्टिकल हम टिप्स सबको देने चाहेंगे. So that thank you very much for today's wonderful session on the budget, and we look forward to next Saturday at 8 p.m. meeting you once again. और जैसा राजीव रायजादा जी ने कहा, आप सब लोग सेफ रहिए, अपना ध्यान रखिए, अपने परिवार के सभी सदस्यों का भी ध्यान रखिए, अपने समाज के जितने लोग हैं उनका भी ध्यान रखिए, कम्युनिटी का भी ध्यान रखिए, और मुस्कुराते रहिए, ठीक से रहिए. परेशानियां आएंगी, प्रॉब्लम आएंगी, डिफिकल्टीज आएंगी, but we have to overcome that. That is the best way we have to go. Thank you very much, Rajiv Radada ji. Very
Thank
kind
you.
of you. And look forward meeting you next Saturday at 8 p.m.